Right at the back. Right at the back. Working.
All of you can hear at the back?
You know, of all the people in this room, the people I really relate to are the people in the last row. You know, these are people who take very calculated risks. They're not sure at the start of it if it's going to make sense, so yeah. Truth be told, I was seated at the extreme left corner in the previous session. But hopefully, we will give you enough confidence to move up as the session progresses. You know, when they started calling me to be a panelist, I was like, well, you know, yeah, finally this is happening. And then one day I was climbing up the stage to be a panelist, and I did not know what the topic of the panel was. I thought it was moderator सवाल पूछेगा, मैं जवाब दे दूँगा, मतलब how difficult is it going to get, right? So as I have one foot on the stage, a young man comes, whispers in my ear, says, "Sir, अब वो panel नहीं कर रहे, 20 मिनट का ना आप keynote कर दो." So I said, "अच्छा." So now I have an urgent need to know what the topic of this panel was going to be. कम से कम मतलब, you know, उसके agenda में लिखा है मैं किस बात पे बोल रहा हूँ. This video is available on YouTube. So I've started speaking, and I am opening my phone, going to that email to say, what is the topic? We've ensured that none of the panelists here are as well prepared as I was in that panel. Because you see, your time is important. It is a natural resource. If you're not in your classroom today, if you're not with your families today, then we're not loud enough. Can I do the teacher voice? Does this work better? रीजन सुन तो नहीं रहा है? नहीं सुन रहा है? Okay. This works. थोड़ा बेस भी बढ़ा दो यार. थोड़ा works better. You got the photograph? Yeah, video बना रहा. पर ठीक है. So your time is important. As much as some of you have come to Jaipur to say, okay, I'm going to have fun, and when I'm not having fun, then I'll attend a session. There are some outstanding delegates in this room. Out and standing are separate words. And I'm only accusing you of something I have been accused of several times. Okay, but so what we are attempting to do today is to talk about, let's do a Q&A with the panelists. So what's the title of the panel?
Playing and Experiential Learning in
Okay.
NEP 2020.
Okay, so one knows the title. See, figure देख रहा हूँ. उसको topic verbatim याद है. वो prepare करता है. हाँ, लिखा भी नहीं है. पास लिखा भी नहीं है. Good one. So, if you also let me know the time, मेरे को काफी clear सुन रहा है. 12:20. So unless the audience throws us out. तो हमने ना 2-3 चीजें डिस्कस करी थी when we were discussing as a panelist, and you, the audience, have the button. वो आजकल बहुत सारे शोज आते हैं ना, उसमें वो 3 बटन दबा देते हैं तो फिर चुप रहना पड़ता है ना. वो India's Got Talent and America's Got Talent. So the audience here has those buttons. As soon as we start talking theory, throw that bottle at us. Yeah. If it reaches us, we will stop automatically. But if you go to theory, I will stop you in the middle of your sentence and bring you back. Because we're not here for books, right? We have books at home. We're going to attempt that we get at least one, if we are lucky, two things that we can take back and say, this was worth doing. I can go back and try this. Reasonable expectation है ना? एक मिल जाए तो ठीक है, दो मिल जाए तो बहुत अच्छा. इस सेशन के बाद में ही मार्केट. Okay. So we're talking about play and we're talking about experiential learning. I would want to believe that it is already happening in our classes with the understanding of play and experiential learning that we have. How many of you go to a school in the morning? Just to raise a hand. Okay, that's 2/3 of the audience at least. Out of all of you, how many of you are there at the gate of your institution when children are coming in the morning? That's where PTM happens every day. Every day PTM. Yeah. So we are primarily practitioners who are trying to solve this on our own. We have 4 fabulous people, and I mean this. No, seriously. I really do. We've got IB sitting here, we've got Cambridge. These are curriculums that are coming from the knowledge economies. These countries, IB comes from Switzerland, Cambridge comes from UK. For the longest time, these countries have been exporting knowledge to the world. So their curriculums have got some bit of that. Well, we got 2 gentlemen. What an honor to be on stage with 2 gentlemen who every day in the morning get up and find themselves in an early year setting. There are not very many of us. This just happened. I didn't intend for this. So we will test them, okay? We're just getting started, we'll test them. So we will give them 1 minute each. ये पेपर मैंने नहीं दिया इनको 2 सवाल दिए थे, वो शायद पूछ लूँगा. I will give them 1 minute each to give you their context of what lens are they seeing this problem from. Make sense, right? कि कौन बोल रहा है वो मतलब भाई तुम्हारा experience क्या है, तुम कहाँ से आ रहे हो? Okay. So let's start with you. You'll introduce your name and then in the next 59 seconds. And if he speaks for more than 1 minute, that bottle. Okay, so let's start with you. So, yeah, what are you solving? What do you do? What exactly do you do?
Hi, good morning everyone, and I'm Shobhan. I'm representing Clay Free Schools, and I have been taking care of early years programs, passionate about the curriculum that the children learn, the time that they spend, those 3 hours in the school and the rest of the 21 hours that they spend at home, how quality that could be, and what kind of learning that is possible in those early 5 years, 6 years, and how best we can take the advantage of those 5 to 6 years that could be built as an asset for the nation. So every child that we see in our system could be the next Prime Minister of the country, and he has to take the world forward. So when we start looking at them from that perspective, they become very important. So every child, every hour in the system is very, very important. And we've been working very hard on designing the curriculum, received so many accolades for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was almost 60 seconds, right? Just a little longer, but you went first. Try one. I didn't stop.
Hello everybody, my name is Deepika Walian and I am the Development and Recognition Associate Manager for International Baccalaureate. I worked in UAE for 12 years as a school consultant, and I worked with almost all the leading curricula of the world, and I am very happy to be finally working with IB itself, which is the most reputed accreditation system for schools and preschools in the world, and they are at the forefront of always researching on how the learning happens and what is the role of a teacher and educator in the learning and development of a child. Thank you.
Thank you. I know one person who will disagree or debate with you already with the introduction that you've made, but let's see if that shows up. Okay, let's carry on.
Hi, I am Pathik Shah. I am from Ahmedabad. I am a founder director of Anvil Foundation, and we have recently started with the master franchisee. I am a master franchisor of ICANN Early Learning Center, which is run by Riverside Learning Center. I am actually working as a teacher, come principal, come owner, whatever you say, but I do every day go in the classroom, spend my time with children, and the one word I always say to everyone is that I celebrate childhood.
I have a question for you. You know the Santa Claus in Google photographs of your school? That's you, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct, that's me. So I become the Santa Claus. Right now I have a good belly, but early years I don't, so I put the pillow in and make sure that I have that belly.
Good afternoon. My name is Soumitri, and I head publishing for Cambridge University Press and Assessment for pre-primary up to class 8. Why I'm here, not to debate or argue, but I'm purely here because Cambridge has launched an exclusive early years curriculum as a product of extensive research and collaboration for many years. The endeavor is to come up with practical, implementable strategies, work with practitioners, and build a structured and efficacious early years ecosystem. And that's what we are trying to do, and that's what we are looking forward to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's one thing that's common between Soumitri and me. Nobody gets her name right. Right. So we've learned to respond to anything that is vaguely.
It's like show me tree.
Yeah.
So phonetics might be the same.
Show me three. Okay. Great.
Not phonetics.
Okay. I'll blast off the first question to you only then. Yeah. So you said your curriculum is NEP ready, right? The early years curriculum. In fact, okay, let me share this. So NEP came about, and 2 months later, there is a big article in Times of India that says Cambridge has an early years curriculum which is NEP ready. And I'm like, did somebody give them the NEP before they gave it to us? How can they have a curriculum which is NEP ready in 2 months of NEP being launched while the country is still discussing if it is acceptable to us or not? So what are you people talking about? How is it ready? Is it compliant? Give us a little bit of an understanding with actionables of how is it working for you?
Well, that was by virtue of ancient magic that happened, but otherwise, it was not coincidence or magic, I would say. I think both Cambridge early years curriculum and NEP, I think both are products of extensive research and actually scientific endeavors, and therefore they may have taken different routes, but they have culminated in the same platform, which is using certain very mundane, ordinary strategies like communication and language, social emotional development, multilingualism, context, socio-emotional focus to create an ideal ecosystem for children. And both Cambridge and NEP, that's where they align, and we are very happy that we align that way, and we don't take that as any kind of an alarm. It's great that we are all headed in the right direction for children.
Thank you very much. And if I have to at least get a basic understanding, is this document available publicly or a portion of this available publicly for somebody to get a basic idea?
So we make a portion of this available public, where you will get an overview of the basic strategies and the basic focus areas.
Where is that?
But
Where?
it is called SSH, School Support Hub. There's a website that we run. If you find time and if you are so inclined to go there.
Say that again.
School Support Hub,
School
Cambridge,
Support.
early years. So you will have access to all the material, which will give you an overview, if not all the details.
And you will not ask us for money.
No, going to the website, no. And GPP, yeah, at this point, no.
People from that country have taken a lot of our money.
Yeah. I know. They still are taking a lot of your money, but not this particular method, it's free, yes.
Great. Thank you for that. That was helpful, wasn't it? Right? Okay, panelists, see, that's how you answer a question, where you give us something that we can take back, right? Okay? So, we
for
get
free,
it.
without money.
It's happening. Okay? There are two biggies on the table, right? There is also IB. So, I once happened to find myself loitering around the corridors of the first IB school of the world, which is the International School, Geneva. And the proctor who was taking me around told me that in this school, the most difficult subject for them to teach is history and current affairs. That's enough. That's easy. Previous year's notebook of a child. So he said, you see, because Geneva has so many headquarters of international organizations, there are so many nationalities that are in the classroom. So, for example, when the Gulf War was going on, the daughter of Vice President of America and niece of Saddam Hussein were in the same classroom. So now, what do you tell these kids? Who's right, who's wrong? So, now IB comes from that exposure and understanding, and you've been able to do this all around the world. Most simple question to you. What is play and experiential learning for IB?
IB, the whole philosophy behind IB education is the child is driven by inquiry. Okay? And hence, any IB teacher knows all about the programs of inquiry. Teachers plan for 2 or 3 weeks, the planning is the program of inquiry where she's touching upon, okay, this would be the area the child, we are going to inquire. And now for these younger kids, they can't sit and we can't teach them like this at all. So she would set up in the classroom different kind of play zones, some independent, some where it will be adult-led, but child will be doing it. Some where the child-led and adult supervision, and some completely...
Give us a concrete example.
Well, okay,
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Okay, let me give an example. Okay, for example, we are doing a theme, Handler's Surprise. It's a very famous African story. So here, the whole inquiry was, for example, the inquiry was that how African kids, enjoy friendship. Okay, so in the classroom, and this theme will go for around 2 weeks. So in the classroom, somewhere there will be, she will set up in the math zone, she would actually set up all the fruits that the handler was carrying, okay, and let the children sort it up while together. So they are also enjoying the friendship between them and doing some mathematics. In the understanding the world area, because Handler lives in Africa, the teacher has created a small forest and different animals, and their habitat she would mark, and the kids would mark it. So that is kind of adult supervised but child led. Somewhere she would just give them something in the art corner, it would be completely child-led. But the teacher here, now the 3 kids would come to teacher and she would be focusing on certain phonics, certain sequencing with them. And this will go on. So it is play. So play is not play. Play is not just that you run around and play. Play is also various categories of play. And that is what IB says.
You think me wearing this headgear is part of play?
Sorry?
Me wearing this headgear is part of play?
I don't know, really. I didn't think about it.
It is being contextually relevant, right?
Yeah.
They gave this to me yesterday. And there are 2 hands. They also come with a thumbs up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a good thing? Great. Okay, super. So, and what is expected out of the teacher is, often people say that teachers are like superheroes. You heard that?
Yeah.
I disagree. No, teachers are not like superheroes. Superheroes have superpowers. We do it without those superpowers. day in the classroom, we do it without those superpowers. We are beyond that. So the expectation that the system has, the parents have, the curriculums have of that teacher, and what we are actually giving to the teacher in return to be prepared for this eventuality is obscene. We're not helping the teacher out. I want to come to Shobhan. You say it's not like that. You look at it from the top of the pyramid. How prepared are we? How have we enabled our teachers to take on all of what NEP is talking about? And if we've not prepared them, what is it that you would be doing with teachers at your facility, and something that we can imitate?
So honestly, the first thing, most of us sitting in this room are also not prepared for what NEP 2020 is. We have not read the document, and whoever has read has interpreted it in his or her own way. We have not understood what is the intention or the outcome that is expected out of those children that are going to go through that curriculum. Second, no curriculum has yet been developed. All are doing their own work, and there's no standardization, nothing as for now, and it will take its own time. It's a new baby. हम लोग नहीं पढ़े हैं in that system. So we are coming from our own way of how teaching can be, and we are practicing. We are trying to learn from all these stalwarts of education today. Dr. Rita Sunawat has given us some beautiful theory of how things can be done in the classroom. So we are juggling with a lot of learning that we had, and then breaking those ideas, unlearning, learning new stuff. So that is what Tod for Jod we are doing all the time as represent. If we talk about the teachers at our schools, first thing is we are talking about the early year centers. The only course that is given by the government is the NET, which is, I think, as obsolete as Baba Adam, and हम उसको सोच के अगर सोच रहे हैं कि that will help the children become those futuristic children that we are expecting them to be with those skills that are going to be the future. That's not going to be possible. We are not prepared for that. The only thing that you asked me how we are going to do it in our centers, we are developing our curriculum based on the NEP, what best we can do right now. And those curriculum are manuals wherein any person who is not trained as a early years teacher but has the passion of delivering the intent, that can do it by just reading what activity has been written, what is the intention, what is the outcome, how those things have to be done. It is a simple instruction manual. So this is what we are doing right now for the teachers, and we are training them how to go through those manuals, how a child has to be.
Thank you for bringing that to the center of it. Let us agree that we are not ready for this. Our policy makers don't understand it. We don't understand it. Our teachers don't understand it. But some of our parents do. And they think they knew it forever, because what we do is so easy, right? These parents are everywhere. It's so lucky, all of us. I have a hypothesis that these 1 day, 2 day, 3 day trainings don't work. I heard a new word for them. They're called silver bullets. Bullets because it's so fast. Done, right? And silver because they're expensive. So silver bullet, you send teachers for 2 day training, or the school head goes to a conference, listens to a panel, jots things down, says, tomorrow you'll start doing this. I think it doesn't work. Unless you keep coming back to it again and again and again and say, this year I will only solve these 2 things. And I'm going to be patient with it. There is perhaps a possibility that it will. I think I want to go to you. How are you solving this? Because we're now starting to discuss how do you bring in play and experiential learning. I want to go to the man who's also the Santa Claus. So how do you solve it? How are you bringing play and experiential learning to the student? Because you can't do it till the time you don't bring it into the teacher's life.
So, how many ECA members are sitting here? And ECA core committee. And when that happens, ECA किसका है? So what we say, हमारा है. Same way, school we have created an atmosphere with the teachers, with the children that school किसका है? मेरे बाप का school है, मेरा school है. So that ownership we have given to kids, that voice has to be listened. their work to be done. उनको जो करना है, what they want to do, that has to be done. And that's the rigor, relevance and relationships. Three things works together and then it becomes a class. The culture has to be created in a way that they should have fun, and teachers' responsibility to make sure that they develop the curiosity. When the curiosity comes in, the inquiry comes in, curiosity automatically comes in, and the playway methods works with the fun. And that's the beauty when the classroom becomes itself a playground. And there is 4 walls is a classroom, we don't believe it. If a child wants to stay in a campus and learn something, it's okay. The work will come outside for them. Teachers have that facility कि बच्चे को 4 wall के classroom में बिठाना ज़रूरी नहीं है. It's absolutely fine if they want to learn outside, but the content important is learning. Their voice needs to be listened. That's what we do.
So you're saying democratize it. Let's hear more of what teachers are saying. Often I see managements don't want to invest on teacher training. Or they fear what will happen, I will train and this teacher will leave. My question to those managements is, imagine you don't train and the teacher stays. You don't train and the teacher stays. So we need to bring teacher enablement to the center of this conversation. Soumitri, going back to you, I've read through your curriculum and the kind of work that has happened there and the research that has gone in it is not a one-day exercise. It's not a 1 month, it's not a 1 year exercise. This would have taken decades to reach where it has reached. So on one hand you have this, on the other hand, you have people like me on this committee called the School Standards Committee. This was made a month after NEP came about. Say, NEP is a theoretical document. How will this translate into standards for schools? Reasonable ask, right? You know how much time you got for it? 3 weeks. Say, let us come up with a school standards document, which it's now been 2 years and 1 month. We're still working on that document. We've had several reviews of it. So on one hand, we have this situation, and the other hand, you have yours where you're planning, you're looking ahead. Can you break it down for me as a teacher? Say, this is one, or maybe these are 2 strategies that are simple to use, that can be jotted down right now, and perhaps be shared with the teacher tomorrow. Say, why don't you have a go, try this?
Yeah, I think that's what the EY curriculum is about, to give out those simple strategies and not to make it very dense and something that most teachers will be intimidated by. Say, for example, time and again, if you go through the lesson plan, so there is this suggestion for teachers that create and say an experience corner. So this whole experiential. So it's not something where you have to invest a lot to build something, just corner demarcated in the classroom. Say, for example, you have a table where you place a particular type of toy, say a ball, but of different material, and then you blindfold a child, obviously not too tightly, very securely and delicately, and then you tell the child to touch each material and probably articulate in their own words that what is the difference. The child will not be able to, of course, say which material, exactly what are the characteristics, but in their own way they will be able to communicate the difference that they can feel. So these are simple strategies, and what we are also doing is we are not telling you that do this. We are suggesting that these are a few things you can do. We are also giving options. Now you can hold it according to your cross-section, which we don't know what kind of cross-section you are addressing. It's very unique to you.
Children, where do you think your heart is? And there's one that I will never forget in my life, was this human figure, and the heart was here. For some people it is. So with that, I come to this question of when you do play and experiential learning, but at the end of the day, you also need to assess or document it. So if the heart is here for a 3-year-old, is that right? Is that wrong? How do you measure that experiential learning or play is happening in the classroom?
A 3-year-old drawing heart within the body is a great achievement, first of all.
There you go.
Yeah, so it need not to be rightly placed, it's fine. So, first of all, I want to actually put my view on 2 things. Before NEP, teachers were supposed to be superhuman because they were supposed to cram all these academic content into these kids' mind. Rather, NEP is asking teacher to be a human, a mother, a good citizen, a valued person, and role model that, problem solver, which we all are. I mean, we all do, and become the role model for the student. Actually, that is what we are asking. So we are rather lessening their burden. We are not asking them to marks or a lot of sheet like CE. And I have to say, teachers training in IB particularly is not 3-day cramming. It is 3 days of taking out the wrong notions. And that really helps them relieve. And then they are in. And now coming to if they draw the heart, there generally a teacher should decide what are the benchmarks of progress and achievement for individual child, depending on the child. If she was expecting this particular child to do better, it means she would assist the child to understand it. If a child who was at risk or who was drew the heart even at the stomach, it's fine. It is a progress towards something. So assessment is individualistic. That's what I want to say here.
Thank you very much. You haven't helped me much. I'll drill this in a little more. Yeah? Did you get it? Did you get how do you do this? Like I didn't get it.
Okay,
Did anybody get it? Okay. I'll rephrase my question. Maybe the problem was with the question. As an early years practitioner, I need to document child's progress. In some ways also see the child meeting some milestones. If he or she is not, then is it in agreeable variations? How is IB doing this? I know that you're not giving out report cards to children. 4-year-old, you got 87%. That's not happening, right? So, how are you documenting and sharing it with parents? Also, on your website, is there something that is available to me who's a non-IB teacher to go and check out? Like, theirs is benevolence. They're repaying. Are you.
So, any nursery school who becomes an IB authorized preschool, they get a lot of resources.
Okay.
In them, there is a clear scope and sequence where for different areas and domains of learning, different milestones of development are given for particular kids. And also, so all teacher, in whatever grade in whatever year level she's teaching, she must have these milestones in every student's
Are you at least doing a watered down version for people who are not part of IB?
Okay, now, this benchmarking is exclusively available for IB, but now coming to how to assess it, there is a lot of early year research material which is available, which can definitely help teacher do her benchmarking, help her. So not directly something is given, but a lot of work on EY, which would be lovely reading for any early.
It is available on your website. What's your website?
It is IB. And go to publication, go to research.
Okay.
So go to IB's website, and then there are a lot of publications there. Some are free, some are paid. So you are free to go for whichever research is out and which interests.
Thank you very much. I was reading this interesting book a couple of weeks back. It's called The End of Average by Todd Rose, where he says education systems around the world are made for an imaginary child. who is supposed to understand these learning outcomes this year, and next year I have another installment, and next year I have another installment. So there is an imaginary child for every curriculum. The problem is that that child doesn't exist. There is no child that will exactly measure up to that imagination of the person who, or the team that is constructing that curriculum. And NEP also talks about it, that you need to personalize this learning. But as soon as you start personalizing this learning, the economics of this starts to break down. You know, one sock can fit all, but a specific sock is going to make this so much more expensive in time and in money as well. But that's the intention that we are moving towards, right? How do we personalize this? I'm happy to know that IB also has material that it's giving out for free. I'm taking your word for it. But let's read more. Do read this fantastic book and there's also a little, this gentleman is a professor at the Institute of Education at Harvard, where he says there is no imaginary child, there is no average. If you are doing anything to a child or a human, keeping in mind a scale that was based on average, then you are doing disservice to that human. 5 minutes. Now I'll do my monologue, yeah. That's good. So another question for you. How many of us work in standalone preschools? Rephrasing the question, only for you getting the hands that will now get raised of people. How many of you work in a preschool where it is part of a chain? Where there are more than one. Lovely. And as soon as they become more than one, they're doing a great service because, you know, they're sort of creating a menu of services and say, you need to be prepared for A, B, C, D, you might not have thought this is what you'll need. So they're making a standardized product available for you to open from the box and start delivering it to students, which is great. So many of us would not have been able to get there, at least not as fast as a preschool chain gets you. But that also comes with a construct. How do you get out of this? So my reality would be different to your reality, would be different to her reality. So if you are that imaginary preschool that is part of a chain of preschools, and you want to work more on play and experiential learning in the classroom, what's your advice to such people?
See, standardization, first of all, at the level of a franchisor, should be very liberal. So, letting them have their own ideas as well be part of it, as well as standardization, wherein such quality standards that we have built with years of practice or which makes you stand out or unique, has to be. It could be your infrastructure, it could be your curriculum things, but at the same time, every teacher has their own skill set that they are bringing into the classroom. So, taking away that skill set from her and telling her not to do that, rather just do what is mentioned in the book, would not be a great idea. So, letting the system explore itself, discover what is there in the classroom with that child there, and they should be trained enough. So, as a franchisor, my job is to train my teachers wherever may be a teacher in a tier 4 small city or in a tier 1 city. Every teacher has to be trained enough to handle that classroom, to handle that child, and is able to deliver what is the outcome that is expected from that classroom. So whatever we are designing in the curriculum is more of the outcome specific. If that outcome is not there and we are not able to evaluate that outcome in the child, then there is no use of having a standardization of the curriculum.
Thank you very much. I think if you heard what you're saying, he's also talking about being sensitive to that need, right? I'll give you an example from our school. We started doing these classroom observations many years back. And initially there was unrest. We said, you know, why are you walking into my classroom? This is my space. So we said, okay, fine. What we're going to do is when the observer goes into the classroom, there would be something good that would be happening in that classroom, right? So when you meet in the huddle next time, only talk about that lovely thing or that moment that you spotted in that classroom. And as we started doing it, we also had these little note cards, size of this. So you write a compliment for that teacher and put it on the pinboard for everyone else to read as well. And we immediately realized that now nobody had a problem with somebody coming into the classroom to observe. So these very simple ways of giving feedback and acknowledging, and we're all work in progress, right? We are all work in progress. So giving this allowance to the team would make it slightly better experience. Not like Suman, how she's showing us this time. Like,
We started late.
yeah,
The audience was not there.
like
We had to get that extra.
this is when they get roasted. And, they're really happy. There's only 2 minutes left. How much can I roast? Schools like us are expecting kids at grade 1 level to be compliant with what the curriculum is expecting them to be. Right. And that's an uphill climb. The learning continuum from KG to grade 1. These kids come in KG, they were the eldest in that small environment. Now in grade 1, they're amongst the youngest in a big environment. That's a big problem out there. How do you balance the literacy and numeracy story and the experiential story at the same time? You only have like 3 or 4 hours in a day.
So yes, there are multiple type of parents walks in. They always says, ABCD to सीखेगा, और क्या सिखाओगे? What else my child will get? So first we always say to the parents that can't we remove this word or, and instead of or can we add the word and? So if we remove the word or, ये और वो सीखेगा, उसके बजाय ये and वो सीखेगा, तो we can give a big change to the society, because when they walks in, we have to explain them it is an investment. जैसे आप शेयर बाजार में invest करते हो, it's kind of an investment which you are doing for your child. And if today this or word can be removed, and if we put the proper seeds in, then everything is possible. So we call it a bridge activity, where we make sure when the child is moving from that experiential learning to play-way methods to the structural school, grade 1, grade 5, whatever, that time we need to make sure that the child is going to which board, which kind of a school, the school atmosphere, etc. And then we have to give certain bridge activities to do during that vacation time. And then we have to come to one by one parent and explain them, oh, your child is going to XYZ school, and please make sure this needs to be done, where we will going to be help you out. But the journey what they have gone through for that 3-4 years with us as a preschool, that's the memorable thing, and that's already we said that it's a seeds, and it's further up to you how you nurture it with the water, with the sunlight, and that's how they have to take it further.
Thank you very much. I think on that note, if someone's note were not obvious enough, lady standing on the mic certainly is. So we will not overstay our welcome as much as we got lesser time, so we will put that on record. We lost out our first 10 minutes because somebody had a lot of tea and coffee. I got presented this fabulous book about an hour back, and I've only read like 10 pages of it. It's called Khichdi for Desi Mom's Soul. Can you actually stand up? I want to give you a huge round of applause. These are 100 mothers who are penning their one-page stories. And as you read through them, you realize, oh wow, as much as we sometimes make fun of how parents come in to the school and expect us to really create those personalized experiences for their children, but the context that they're coming from can be really, really, really difficult sometimes, very interesting as well sometimes. Do read. Tremendous, insightful content coming out of this book. I don't even know if it's out on the stalls yet.
She already said that you have to release it when it comes out. And we are doing it more release.
I look forward to it. So, Khichdi for Desi Mom's Soul. Once again, congratulations. Thank you very much, people. Thank you for not sleeping. The coffee helped. And we'll be around. We were hoping to have some Q&A, but as you can see, it's not happening. So we'll be around at lunch and hope to see you soon.
What's your moderation, not the coffee?
Yeah? Okay. And can we have a huge round of applause for the panelists here? I think they were phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Soumitri. Sorry about mispronouncing your name a little earlier. Thank you, Pathik, thank you, Deepika, Shobhan and Arunabh for staying to context and that lovely red turban out there. Thank you. We have a book launch, so if all of you could wait on stage. That needs to be launched by you. This book is on traditional Indian games and we'd like all of you to please launch it and unveil it. And can we have some music, please? Beautiful book, Traditional Indian Games, very useful for our classrooms and schools. You will find a copy of it at the back of this room. Do explore. And I'd like to call upon Dr. Bela. Bela, are you here? Yes. Bela, could you grace the panelists and our lovely moderator? You are. And Dr. Arunabh Singh first. Yes, you are doctor. From Dr. Bela Kodwani. Thank you. Bela, I think the photographer is... Thank you.
Weeks back, I had my birthday, so my friend gave me a lot of gifts. My daughter asked, what return gifts did I give them? I said, no, we don't do return gifts. She said, how rude. I get mine today.
Thank you, Soumitri. Yes? Why don't you come center stage, Soumitri and Deepika? Come on, everyone. Where's the clap? Where's the thank you? But Deepika, thank you, Deepika, for that word in ID. Thank you. We've got Shobhan. And one to Pathik as well. Yes, thank you, Pathik. Then. Thank you very much, everyone. Very insightful. And the roast was softer than we thought. Thank you, Veda.